What is going on, man? I'm going to be talking about how martial arts will help you eliminate a lot of the bad habits you have in your life. A big reason why a lot of people who do combat sports have massive transformations, man, because it eliminates a lot of the bad habits in your life that are probably ruining it. So to start off, number one is that if you train combat sports, it most likely will take up a lot of time throughout your week, or at least a portion of it. A reason why a lot of people do bad habits to begin with is because they have too much time on their hands. Alright? When you have too much time on your hands, you're more likely to do dumb shit. You're more likely to go smoke. You're more likely to go eat out. You're more likely to hang out with people that are just going to influence you in a bad way, or you guys are just going to do some dumb shit. It keeps you away from doing the bad habits in a sense where, because it takes up time throughout your day, you'll have less time to do the bad habits. A strategy I always tell people when they're trying to eliminate bad habits out of their life is to keep yourself as busy as possible. If you're too busy to do the bad habits, what's naturally going to happen is that you're going to completely forget about the habit, and it's going to be a week or two that goes by and you're like, oh shit, I haven't been smoking, I haven't been drinking, I haven't been doing X bad habit in the last 2 weeks, and it's just because I've been keeping myself busy. It's people that want to quit bad habits without keeping themselves busy that find themselves in a state where they're like, man, I'm so bored, I'm trying to quit it, and it's the only thing they think about, especially if it's a bad habit that's very addicting. It's the only thing they think about. So by keeping yourself busy, a way you could do that is through combat sports, because it will take time throughout your week. Alright? Number two is that combat sports forces you to become healthier. A lot of people who get into combat sports, naturally, you want to get good at it. It's a skill. And in order to get good at combat sports, it forces you to change some of your bad habits and become healthier in order to perform better. You're going to notice that maybe you're going to start eating a little better, because when you go to training, you know that if you have some shitty ass food, it's going to affect your performance. Maybe you're going to drop the smoking because you want to build a better gas tank. For example, I do boxing, right? And you need to have amazing cardio. So if you want to have amazing cardio, maybe you're going to have to drop the smoking, right? Maybe in order for you to perform optimally, you're going to have to sleep better. So maybe you're going to stop fucking around late at night and you're going to go to bed at a reasonable time so you can get adequate amount of sleep so your body can recover, because maybe your body's sore. Or maybe you just want to perform better at your next session. It forces you to become a healthier person in order to become good at the sport. Now, I know there's going to be some asshole in the comments that's going to be like, oh, does this, so-and-so does that. Well, you're not that motherfucker. Most likely you're an average human being, and you can't get away with the shit that motherfucker is getting away with. Alright? So that's the second reason. It forces you to become a healthier person, which will help reduce the amount of bad habits you do in your life. Number three is it builds discipline by showing up. It builds discipline by learning the technique. It builds discipline by just overall, people that are in combat sports will agree with me when I say this shit is a lifestyle. And if you want to get good at it, it has to become a lifestyle. And for it to become a lifestyle, it requires tremendous amount of discipline, because you're going to have to be super consistent. You're going to have to be going hard at every session. You're going to have to make sure that you're mentally strong enough to get through past those points where the shit fucking sucks. By building that discipline, what do you think that's going to do in your everyday life? It's going to pour into it, right? You're going to see that the regular stuff in your life is not as bad compared to some of the shit you have to do when it comes to combat sports. I know I can't really have a bad day or someone to throw me off if in the morning I was sparring and I got punched in the face. If I get punched in the face, there's only so many other things that will annoy me even more than that, right? The little things that people trip out about in work, for example, it won't affect you as much because you know what true pain feels like when it comes, because you're going to experience some level of discomfort or a lot of discomfort when you're training combat sports, right? So it's going to build tremendous amount of discipline, which is going to pour into other areas of your life. And that discipline will carry over, and it will make it easier for you to maybe quit some of the bad habits that you've been struggling with, because you could be like, well, I've went 7 rounds when I was completely exhausted in boxing. Me just not having some junk food today, preventing myself from putting some unhealthy food between my lips, major pause, is not as bad as sparring 7 rounds when I'm absolutely gassed. It just makes doing some of the easier stuff that you find difficult right now way easier, man. That's the point I'm trying to get across when I say it builds better discipline. Alright? If you guys enjoyed this kind of content, let me know in the comments below. If you guys have noticed other ways martial arts has benefited your life, comment it down below. Subscribe to the channel. If you yourself want to make a massive transformation through combat sports, and you just need a little bit of guidance and a game plan on how you can get there, check me out on Instagram at Shook Training and DM me the word Shook, and let's talk about it and see how we can get you there. Alright, with that being said, man, I'm going to catch you guys in the next one.